Greetings, YouTube van builders. Thought I'd do a quick update here on my van build. I have not given up. I am still working away on this. Sorry about the long delay. We had the holidays and we had, you name it, overseas visitors. My wife's relatives came here from Norway, and they were here a couple of weeks in end of November into December. We went back to Seattle area and spent a couple of weeks there visiting relatives and friends during the holidays. And just, a bunch of stuff, life gets in the way of things sometimes. But anyway, we had a nice visit with my wife's relatives. They're from Honfoss, which is near Oslo, and they invited us there for the winter festivals, and we're going to go do that up in Trondheim. I'm butchering these names. Trondheim, I believe, is how you pronounce it. We've been there before, but it's up north and more towards the top of Norway there, pretty close to the Arctic Circle, actually. So anyway, today we'll be talking about installing this SmartPlug here. This is a pretty good product. This is your shore power inlet, and to do that you're going to have to drill a significant hole, 2 1/8 inch, and I will go over how I am making the cutouts in the sheet metal on this van. You're going to have to probably do 7-8 cutouts, and most people use a hole saw, and that comes with some risk when you do that. I think I got a much safer way to make a hole in the van, and it's less drama and it produces a much nicer hole. So I'll go over the specialized tool that I bought to do that, and also I will go over to the sound deadening mitigation that I did. These vans are very noisy. They resonate like a tin can going down the road. And I had put some sound dampening material in, and I'll show you what I did. And it made a dramatic difference. And you have to do that, of course, before you put your insulation and your sidewalls in, your interior sidewalls. So I'll go over that process and show you the finished product there. So without further ado, I will get into this, and we will start with cutting the hole and the tool that I bought to do that. Stand by. So today's the day I've going to start cutting the cutouts, the hole cutouts in my van conversion. And this is always a kind of a nerve-wracking thing when you're cutting holes in perfectly good sheet metal on your very expensive Sprinter van. And anyway, most people would take just a circular carbide hole saw and cut through here and cut their hole. The problem with those things is you got to have a pretty powerful drill. You have to have a pretty strong grip on that thing. They can skip, they can jump, they can do a lot of bad things and damage your finish on your van pretty easily. Not to mention they cut a hole with a lot of burrs and warpage of the metal and stuff. They're just not a good way to go. They're very expensive to buy, and they don't last that long. So I try to shy away from those. And I found a much better solution a couple of years ago for making cutouts in sheet metal, and that was to get a hydraulic hole punch like this. The company is Vivor, Chinese company, of course. These are very inexpensive for what you get. You get this nice sheet metal container that holds all the parts. These are all the cutting wheels. You can see the cutting edge on that thing. This is a big one. I will be using that big one. And that is a very hard to cut with a hole saw, believe me. You'll see how easy this is and how clean of a hole you get when you're done. So the first step is I've drilled a pilot hole here, a little pilot hole, and I'm going to take this step drill and drill it up so that it fits this drawbar right here. And this thing threads into your hydraulic puller, and it'll pull that down thusly. Here's the inside, and then your cutter will go on there. The actual cutter will thread on there thusly and sandwich the sheet metal in between. And then as you pump this handle, it'll draw this down and it'll just slice right through. You'll see, it'll cut a nice clean hole, and without a lot of drama. Okay, so here's the actual cutter wheel installed on the drawbar, and it's ready to go. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. You might have to have a helper put that on. Try not to bother the wife unless I actually have. Inga's more than happy to help me, but I mean, anyway, she doesn't like doing it, and I know this. So anyway, now at this point, we're all set to go. So here's your hydraulic pole, and there's the inner part of the cutter, and then you just proceed to pump this. Okay, it's drawn down now. I can feel that it's starting to pinch. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed. Okay, so we're through, and what you do now is you release this valve, and the cutter extends back out to its draw position, and we should be able to remove this and see what we got out here. I'm gonna have to set this camera down and pick it up in a sec, so I'm gonna pull this out right now. Okay, so I just removed the cutter and the hydraulic pole, and here's my hole right here on the inside. It is very, I don't want to tempt fate, but it's a very smooth, clean cut hole. I'll show you the outside here real quick. Okay, so the hole came out really good. As you can see, it's quite smooth, very clean cut, a little bit of chipping of the paint, but by and large, way better than using a hole saw. I can't emphasize that enough. And here is the flap sander on my drill, and I will just go around and deburr that thusly. And I've already test fitted this, and it fits just fine. I guess I should keep the camera where I'm filming, right? Anyway, that'll go in there thusly, and I took a scribe and I marked the 4 holes. You can barely see them, but they're right there. And I'll drill those out, and then I'm going to touch the whole thing up with POR-15. So anyway, these smart plugs are the way to go. I found that out kind of the hard way. I've had plugs burn up on prior RVs. So these ones here are very secure, and they're just a better product. They cost more though, that's the problem. They're an you know, like a $75 plug versus, I don't know, a $30 plug. But how much is your RV worth, right? They just work better. I've used these on a couple of different RVs. So okay, so here's the hole all touched up and the mounting holes. And here's my wire coming out. This will wire into the back of that receptacle. And I will show next how the thing looks installed. I'm going to have to get Inga out here and you know, because she's going to be on the outside holding the screws, and I'm going to be on the inside, of course. So I'll pick up the video there once this is installed. So here's the SmartPlug shore power installed. I'll show you how this works. You just line it up, push it in. These tabs lock it into place. It is not coming out of there. Very secure. These are the way to go if you so choose. I really like them. I think it's the best product on the market. SmartPlug. I'll go inside and show you the wiring on the inside. It's on the inside. Got the strain relief on here. Main power feeder, that's going to go to the power distribution panel. You can see it's very secure. It's not going to leak, I don't think. It's pretty solid. So 120 AC power inlet installed. Okay, so here is what I did to dampen the sound in here. I did quite an extensive sound deadening in addition to the factory sound deadening. You can see here's some factory sound deadening right here, mat. This mat, they glue it on here, and I just added it where it wasn't, where there wasn't any factory. And another thing you do is the support structure, the skin panel is actually glued to it. A lot of people don't know that. They think it's tack welded or something. No, they actually run a bead of the same stuff that I use. This is automotive body adhesive, and I just added it. You know, they had a little thin bead going through here from Mercedes, and I just squirted more in there around every gap all along here, you see. And you know, wherever the skin panel was, I added some more. That's all I did. And this one here has a big mat on it, so I didn't add any there, but it really helps. These things resonate going down the road. You hear every little bump. There's a lot of creaking and groaning of the skin and the structure. This really helps to dampen all that. And I wish I had done it before recording so that you could see the difference, but take my word for it, it really dampened it. It's a very noticeable difference. And you got to do it. Here's, I filled in all this down here with that sealant, but you know, I didn't get every spot, but I got most of it. And it's cumulative, so you do a little here and it silences it a little bit, but all added together, the net result is the van's going to be a lot quieter going down the road. So it's a good thing to do before you add your insulation and cover these interior walls with the side panels. It's a good time to do it. It's about, I figured it out, about $300. Plus, if you have to buy a heavy-duty caulking gun, which you may have to, these are about 75, 80 bucks, I think. And this stuff's very thick, viscous material, so it takes a lot of, it takes a pretty stout caulking gun to dispense it. So that's another thing you might have to buy. But all told, it was certainly less than $400 to do this. And I would recommend, you know, once the walls are sealed up, you're not going to want to tear it apart and do it later. You do it ahead of time. So that's just common sense, right? But anyway, that is the additional sound mat and body adhesive put wherever the skin panels attach to the supporting structure on the inside, and that's really going to pay dividends later on. So anyway, you might consider that on your build. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Still got a significant amount of snow here, but spring is in the air. I can feel it. So I will see you guys on the next video. Until then, happy van building.